All right, folks, pretty important topic right here. I mean, essentially, this is something which we have to keep in our mind, right? So, you guys must remember our old friend right here. This is called Dixie, guys, the dollar index, right? Check this one out. Dollar index is kind of breaking out of this entire formulation right here. Essentially, it is breaking out from this pattern, which could lead to your double bottom targets, right? I mean, essentially, Dixie is bullish. The dollar index is getting bullish in the market, guys. Now, if we take a look at Bitcoin and the correlation coefficient, guys, this one is CC. You can use it on TradingView. You can just go to indicators, just put in CC right here, and then you can just add Dixie over there, right? So what is happening there is that, look, guys, essentially whenever Dixie goes through a very sustained positively correlated period, that is essentially followed up with your little negatively correlated times in the market, right? So essentially what we were looking at in the recent days was the fact that even if Dixie was essentially in a range bound situation, the crypto market as a whole was simply rolling to the upside, right? Now what is happening right now is that this is kind of rolling over, guys. As you can see, the positive correlation coefficient is kind of started rolling to the downside. Is this a warning sign? Maybe it is actually a warning sign in the market, guys. Maybe it actually can be proved out to be a good warning sign, to be honest with you, right? As you can see, Dixie is not 100% correlated to Bitcoin's price action, guys. There have been moments where dollar index was completely opposite to whatever Bitcoin was doing in the market, guys. The biggest example being this entire bear market, and your second biggest example being the last expansion to the upside, right? I mean, the last expansion on Bitcoin was completely different from what Dixie was doing in the market. So whenever this rolls down, guys, whenever the Dixie correlation coefficient rolls down, you can see that Bitcoin goes through consolidation in the market. This has been happening again and again and again and again, every single time, guys. Just check this one out right here. You see the momentum rolling over. I mean, essentially the positive correlation coefficient was simply going down with the price action starting its long consolidation phase, right? And you can take a look at this one as well. I mean, this is where your correlation coefficient started going in the negative. That is when Bitcoin went into a long form of consolidation, guys. Now, on a contrarian perspective right here, since the COVID capitulation, this was entirely negative, which is why the price action was completely range bound on Dixie. And now this one simply got into positive correlation coefficient, guys, which is why, let's just say, well, we are looking at a change in behavior in the price action as a whole. Now, I don't want to confuse a lot of you right here watching this video, but essentially what I'm trying to tell you guys right here is that watch out for these correlation coefficients, guys. Whenever these events happen in the market, that is when market is brewing up for something which everybody is not expecting, to be honest with you, right? So could we be looking at something unexpected in the market? Maybe, guys, maybe something unexpected could happen, right? Now, if I try to fractalize things, if we just dig deep into the fractals right here, you can see, guys, that the Bitcoin's price action had a little cup and handle. I'm sure if we go into the daily time frame, there must have been a good looking cup and handle right here that had the ultimate resolution to the upside. But as your Dixie's correlation coefficient started rolling over, you had this crazy volatile behavior in the price action, which did not violate the previous low, but essentially Bitcoin got volatile in the market, guys. You can talk about these things again and again. You can see that the correlation coefficient started rolling over. Bitcoin went through a consolidation phase right here. Back again, CC went negative and Bitcoin started consolidating on these levels, right? So what is happening right here is that, I mean, look, we have a potential rollover in the correlation coefficient as a whole, which is why Bitcoin's price action could potentially extend down, guys. This one could be extending its leg to the downside as a whole, right? This is completely, let's say, this is not your momentum oscillator, this is not your RSI analysis. Essentially, this is not your volume profile analysis as well. This is something which happens once in a blue moon, and we're looking at a blue moon event happening right now with your Dixie rolling over, with your momentum looking strong on dollar index as a whole. Maybe things could look a little different, guys. Maybe things could be something which a lot of people are not expecting. Am I saying that Bitcoin can go to zero from these levels? Heck no, guys. Pretty much no. I mean, that is something which is completely impossible, to be honest with you. But what I'm expecting at the most, guys, at the most is going to be your $42,500 retest right here, because this is where your market is formulating a good looking structure. Well, the macro structure is right here around the $30,000 levels, but essentially Bitcoin could come all the way towards $42,000, $500 levels in the coming weeks. And Bitcoin could potentially spend a lot of time right here, guys. As we are going through a time correction, right? We are simply going through a time correction. I mean, markets are crazily expanded. So we are going through a time correction in the market as a whole, which is why things could look sideways and choppy, but be completely okay in the bullish macro, guys. Things could be bullish in the macro. So if you're exposed in the market in margin or leverage, maybe this is something that should tell you something, guys. With that said, I'm going to be winding up this quick little 5-minute update, completely uncut for you guys right here, and I will catch all of you in the next video coming pretty soon. Bye for now.